My teacher was widely hated, and years after graduating I still visit to repay her for what she did. Mrs. Fletcher taught 10th grade English at Lincoln High. Everyone despised her. She gave actual failing grades when other teachers just passed you along. She made you rewrite essays until they were perfect. Kids called her the warden behind her back. I hated her too. 10th grade was supposed to be easy, but I was drowning in her class. Every essay came back covered in red ink. Every reading quiz, I bombed. My older brother Nathan had sailed through with a B+. My parents kept asking why I wasn't trying like he did, but I was trying. I'd read the same page 5 times and still couldn't tell you what happened. Mrs. Fletcher started keeping me after class twice a week. One afternoon, she circled 3 questions where I'd written complete nonsense. "Walk me through how you got this," she said. I told her the words jumped around, that by the end of a sentence I'd forgotten how it started, that I'd confuse words that looked similar. She went still. "I had a nephew with dyslexia. You're showing every sign. You need testing." I laughed because that seemed wild. For being dumb, her face hardened. "Your brain works differently. That's not the same as being incapable." The school pushed back hard. Testing cost money. My guidance counselor, Mr. Brooks, told my parents I was probably just lazy and needed to lock in more. Mrs. Fletcher showed up to that meeting uninvited with a folder of my work. She'd been documenting everything for months. "Look at the letter reversals," she said. "If you refuse to test him, I'm reporting this to the district." They tested me. Severe dyslexia. Suddenly I had accommodations, audiobooks, extra time. By senior year I was pulling B's because I finally had tools that actually worked. 8 years later, I'm managing a warehouse. One Tuesday I drove past Lincoln High for a delivery and saw her car in the lot. Without thinking, I pulled in and walked to her classroom. "Mrs. Fletcher, it's Jordan Hayes. I had you in 2016. Her expression shifted. "What brings you here?" "I wanted to say thanks for pushing for that testing." She looked down. "You didn't need to come all this way." "Yeah, I did. We talked for maybe 20 minutes. I came back the next month, then the next. It became our thing. Third Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. every month. After the 4th visit, she mentioned her husband died 3 years back. No kids. She ate lunch alone every day because the other teachers thought she was too intense. That hit different. This woman who literally changed my life was sitting alone in her classroom every single day. Last Tuesday I showed up and her classroom was dark. My stomach dropped. I went to the main office. "Mrs. Fletcher's in the hospital," the secretary said. "Had a fall yesterday. No emergency contact showed up yet." I drove straight to County General. She was awake, arm in a cast, looking so small in that hospital bed. When she saw me, her eyes went wide. "How did you know?" "I came for our Tuesday." She looked away. "My sister's flying in tomorrow. You really don't need to stay. I'm staying until she gets here." A nurse came in with discharge papers. "Is this your son?" Before Mrs. Fletcher could answer, I said, "Yeah." She just stared at me. The nurse smiled and left. We sat there in silence. "Why do you keep coming?" she finally asked. "Because you fought for me when literally no one else did." Her sister arrived the next morning. I'd slept in the chair, neck absolutely cooked. Mrs. Fletcher introduced me as her former student who visits monthly. Her sister hugged me tight and whispered, "She talks about you all the time." 2 weeks later, I showed up on our regular Tuesday. Mrs. Fletcher was back teaching, cast and all, like nothing happened. When class ended, she had this old cardboard box on her desk. My nephew, the one with dyslexia I told you about. She opened it. Inside were notebooks full of the same scrambled letters I used to write. He died 4 years ago. Car accident. He was 19. My chest got tight. He never got help. His parents didn't believe in testing. I swore if I ever saw another kid struggling the same way, I'd fight for them. She looked at me dead in the eyes. "You weren't the first student I pushed to get tested, but you're the only one who ever came back." She pulled out a photo. Her nephew at graduation, smiling but holding his diploma upside down. He dropped out junior year. Told me he was too stupid for school. 3 months later, he wrapped his Honda around a tree going 90 on the highway. Police said accident, but I knew better. Her hands were shaking. "Every kid I push for testing, I'm trying to save him again. Most parents fight me on it. Most kids hate me for it. You're the first one who came back to tell me it actually worked." That's when it clicked. She wasn't just being strict. She wasn't just documenting struggles. She